first of all, you probably want to see the thumb.
How'd you break your other arm?
This one I was dirt biking, and on that yellow bike over there, and it was off-road. But I had broken that wrist maybe 13 months prior to it on stilts, so it was still a little...
You're into everything, stilts,
yeah,
dirt bike.
kind of have a, I guess, I don't know.
Adrenaline thing?
Yeah, I have a problem maybe. It's been a lifelong deal. I don't think it's going to end anytime soon. Yeah, this is a very good opportunity for me to rehabilitate this thumb, now that it's the only thumb that I can use. This is about as ideal as I can imagine as far as a place to have to come every day and work. It's maybe not ideal that it's cold in the winter and a little salty air for all my machinery rusts like. Get over it with you. My metal shop that's mostly on this side. I try and keep my wood over there. I kind of like to take everything I get and rebuild it or make it very unique. Using the ability I have in the shop, which is machining parts and welding and doing any other fabrication, fiberglass, carbon fiber work. Take a solid chunk of aluminum and make something like this. So this relocates the bracket. You can see how the holes are the same spacing. It just basically pushes it out a little bit further. Here, there's a lot of loud toys to play with. And this is just a chop saw for wood. And I built this whole stand that it goes on and rolls around, so I can roll it around the shop if things get a little too tight. I used to work in museums doing display. I started doing a lot of metal work, building sculpture. I went to art school, and that led me to trying to make a living, which I started doing furniture design and fabrication. It's a built-in console for computer workstation for some Cisco systems executive who has a ridiculous amount of computers he needs to play with at all times. This is a pretty cool workstation. I'm built in these motors so that it'll lift up and down 18 inches so people can work at different heights. You want to see the car?
Yeah, and you came in second this year?
I did this year. Last year I was in first. I have it kind of in storage right now. It's hard to really visualize it inverted like this, but I run next to it holding onto the steering wheel off the starting line, and then I jump inside. There's a lot of dogs on the course, so we set up a horn. Cases where dogs don't hear the cars coming and they either get hit or their owners get really pissed. Usually this whole area is open, but I kind of have a invasion of two-wheeled vehicles. This is my dirt bike. I've been enjoying it so much, I've been riding it more than all of these bikes. It's the perfect beginner's bike. It's very small. I kind of look ridiculous on it. So this is the daily ride now. Very easy for me to ride with my wrist broken right now. I was hoping that I could somehow get some information out to the people that are, amateur mechanics. So one of the very most important things is keeping your chain tensioned and lubricated. Essentially, it was a rainy day and I rode through enormous puddles and was completely soaked. I thought I would clean up the bike a little bit, at least get some oil on the chain. I put it up on a rear stand. I had the motorcycle on because I was trying to get the chain to throw off the excess water. Going about that fast, basically just idling. And I had a rag that was around my thumb, and the rag caught as it was moving and dragged my thumb into here and completely cut it off. And the rag got bound up inside of this chain and sprocket and stalled the bike. Obviously, I was in shock when I pulled my hand out and realized my thumb was gone. I started a frantic search for my thumb, which took about 10 minutes. Fortunately, it didn't go through the chain again, so I managed to have a fully intact thumb to take to the hospital. Went to a place called Davies, which specializes in finger replants, as they call it. I was there for maybe a week. This hospital, Davies, was the first to do it in America. I had two different friends that one did the exact same thing I did, except cut off these two fingers, and he's an electrician. And I never knew exactly how he cut his fingers off until he found out about this, and then he was extremely suicidal when that had happened, so he was really worried for me and came down to the hospital probably within an hour. The grapevine was active that day, I guess. And then my other friend, Mark Pauline, blew his hand off completely with rocket propellant. He was loading a rocket for a show. He's the leader of SRL. So they reconstructed his hand using his toes. So he has a big toe for a thumb and several other toes so that he can hold things. And he and I ride motorcycles today. He's very active, as well as, I guess, myself and the electrician. The people I see in the hospital are blue-collar people who work.
I notice you have a hand tattooed on your wrist.
Yeah, it's a daily reminder of the potential that I have, anyone has, to do serious damage to their body on the decisions they make. The cut off here follows the same lines. And it's a nice collection of photographs. This is the x-ray, as it says here, x-ray before replantation. And it's kind of hard. Most people don't get it at first, but the entire thumb's missing. What's interesting about these is they have the pins sticking into my thumb before they actually put it on. And I'm sure it won't come on the camera, but there's the sutures are hanging off of here that they've already put on the veins and tendons and nerves and everything they can. So when they put it back on, they can easily complete the sewing. Another before and after. That's my favorite photo on the top. And this is an after photo. Didn't wash this hand for probably a good month. It would likely wash out all of the scabbing material, which I really needed. Just a nice reunification picture, I suppose. The last 13 months, which was when I first broke this wrist, and then when I I did a whole lot of interesting, well, not interesting, but unfortunate things to my body in that 13-month period, this being the worst activity. I was kind of giving myself a little notice and expecting my body to probably perform as I was as a teenager. So I've just turned 30 a couple of months ago. So I'm starting to renew my contract with my body. A good 2 or 3 months out of the last year I've spent recuperating from a variety of different things, whether it's surfing accidents or dirt biking or my motorcycle repair, whatnot. So I'm work with my hands, and I need my body, every part of my body to be able to work. But I had discontinued or stopped doing yoga years ago, and it seems to be the one thing that really connects me more with my body and keeps me a lot healthier mentally and physically. This was hopefully the completion of a cycle. I broke it twice, so I'm considering that the full circle, 13 months of self-perpetuated violence that I'll hopefully discontinue. Hopefully it'll be much better from here on. Yeah, my name's Kyle Miner, and I'm giving Lisa permission to use this.
Thank you.
Lisa Lewis, that is.
Yeah,
Not
thank
just
you.
any Lisa.
Thank you very much.
Yep. I haven't picked up any major drug habits. I've been flooded with plenty of drugs in the last year. I usually get excited about them for about 5 days and then drop them. So I have no good drug habits to report now.
Well, that's good. We're sitting here in the Delancey Street Rehabilitation Cafe. We're served by drug addicts and food prepared by drug addicts, but we're not drug addicts.
No, it's very fortunate.
Yes. But they do make good food here.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good service, too. There was actually a fire on the pier, and I was the only one down here maybe a year ago or something, and the smoke just started billowing in from the street, and I'm out here, there's nowhere I can go but the water. So I called the police or the fire department, and they came out with the fireboat, and they picked me up and took me out on the bay while they put out the fire, which was a huge fire at pretty close to the entrance. There was some old wiring that went wrong, and all the refrigeration stuff went on fire. So they fortunately put it out and didn't have to burn down my space. I was relieved.
Funding for this public service announcement has been provided by Wairika Extreme Sports, Siskiyou County's foremost specialist for four-wheelin' fun.